Hello, everybody. Today, I want to talk to you guys about health, what it actually means, what it really means to be healthy. I am very guilty of saying, I'm a healthy eater. And I'm sure you probably heard of people say like, I eat healthy, or I want to be healthy, or I am healthy. But when we say I want to be healthy, when we say I'm a healthy eater, what does that actually mean? And I want to share my definition of health. Hi, Jen. Hi, Pamela. Hello, you guys. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Andrea. Welcome, you guys. So excited to have you here. Hi, Alana. So I want to share my definition of what being healthy really means and how my definition of being healthy completely changed. I'd say like 180 degrees. It completely changed. It completely evolved over the past 5 years. So for most people, when they think like I'm a healthy eater or I'm healthy, the first thing that comes to mind for many people is what you're eating, right? Makes sense, right? If I am eating healthy, quote, quote, healthy, then I'm a healthy person. But what does it even mean to be a healthy eater? Back in 2016, 2017, I was tracking calories and macros. And I was doing this because I wanted to be healthy, right? I'm like, I'm going to cut out sugar. I'm going to cut out all these like processed foods. Like I'm not going to go out for ice cream. I'm going to eat only home cooked meals. I'm not going to cook with oil. I'm not going to cook with butter because I want to be healthy, right? And I want to be healthy, so I'm going to exercise. I'm going to move my body. I'm going to do all these things. But what I actually recognized was what I was doing was in fact not actually healthy. I was obsessing over calories, tracking every single thing that I was eating. I was over exercising. I would feel so guilty, so incredibly guilty if I couldn't go to the gym. Like if something happened, if I was sick, if there was an injury, if I had a birthday party to go to, and for some reason I wasn't able to work out, like I would feel so extremely guilty. And I only thought my definition of health was only the way I looked, the number on the scale, what I was eating, and what my workouts were. That's all I cared about. So I went on and hired, coaches for meal plans, or, what workout should I do, or what foods do I have to eat that are like low calorie, low carb. The number on the scale went down. I'm healthy, or I did good today, right? How my body looks, okay, that determined whether I was healthy or not. None of these things are actually true, but this is what I was paying attention to back in, 5 years ago. And I think for so many people think about health only in terms of like working out and in terms of what you're eating. And there's so much more to health. So I went on and I obviously I was following these meal plans, tracking calories and macros, over exercising, thinking that I wanted to be healthy, removing so many foods from my diet because I wanted to try to be healthy. And as a result of that, as a result of being so strict with my diet, as a result of over exercising, I lost my period. I started having extreme bloating issues, extreme gut issues. I started honestly suffering like with my mental health in terms of like anxiety, just feeling anxious going out for dinner, all these different things. I didn't care about sleep. I didn't care about stress management. I'd hear people talk on podcasts and things like this. This was like 2017. And they're like, the importance of stress management and the importance of, your mental health and the importance of meditation and the importance of taking time off and rest. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm like, I don't care about that. I'm like, just tell me how to eat and just tell me how to work out. But it's not that those things weren't important. In fact, they are incredibly important. I just believed that it wasn't important for me because I didn't care about those things. I did not believe that meditation, breath work, getting enough sleep, I didn't believe that those things would change the way that my body looked. So I didn't care about them. And that right there gave me this huge light bulb moment that I was not actually focusing on my health. I was just so concerned about the way that my body looked. I wasn't actually concerned about being healthy. I was using, I want to be healthy as like this mask, right? This mask, or like to justify why I'm not going out for dinner, to justify why I'm saying no to cake. Oh, just so I can be healthy. And I recognized it wasn't just to be healthy. It was because I was so damn terrified to eat at the restaurant. I was so damn terrified to eat a piece of bread with oil or butter on it. I was so damn terrified to go to, my friend's house for dinner without knowing what the macros were. So I use this phrase of like, oh, I just want to be healthy as a mask, when really I was just way too concerned about the way that I looked. I was way too concerned about the number on the scale. So I realized very early on that the reason I was stripping away calories, the reason why I was, taking all these foods out of my diet was not because I wanted to be healthy. It was because I was so obsessed with my weight, the way that my body looked. So once I had this huge realization, I recognized obviously this wasn't healthy, but I also recognized that I developed a very unhealthy relationship with food. So clearly I was, obsessed with food, obsessed with my body dysmorphia, binging, overeating, restricting, all those things. And when I started healing my relationship with food, I started to recognize the importance of healing, the importance of a morning routine, the importance of gratitude every single day, the power that a daily walk has on my mental health, the power of getting adequate sleep to really stabilize my hunger hormones, a morning routine to set the foundation for my day, gratitude to work on my mental health, meditation to really help me become less impulsive with food. And I started to quickly realize this is health. Dedicating time for myself first thing in the morning to do my gratitude practice, to do my future pace journaling, to meditate, to get my mind in the right headspace, to take time for myself, to listen to my body, to rest when I was tired, to exercise when I had the energy, to go out for a daily walk to improve my mental health. This broadened my perspective of what being healthy really means. And when I was healing my relationship with food, and my coach at the time was telling me to do all these things like meditate, morning routine, journaling, future pacing, these brain-based techniques, I'm like, this is health. No longer obsessing about the number on the scale, and in fact, going for a walk for your mental health versus how many calories did I burn today. Exercising for your mental health instead of how many calories am I burning. Taking time in the morning for gratitude, future pacing, journaling, meditation to ground yourself, to heal, to become less impulsive with food versus waking up in the morning doing fasted cardio to change, to hurry up, and hopefully this will make me lose weight faster. Hopefully I'll burn more calories if I do it on an empty stomach. I started learning, when I was healing my relationship with food, I started learning about the power of not being scared of certain foods. And I started understanding that me being so scared to eat at my mom's house without knowing what the macros are, and oh my God, what if she cooks with oil? Oh my God, what if there's butter in there? Like, that was way more unhealthy than just actually eating the food. So my whole mindset changed of like, wow, like I thought I was being healthy, but there's like a whole other world out here when I started healing my relationship with food of like what being healthy actually means. I can't tell you guys how good I felt dedicating time for my healing journey every single day. I'd wake up, I'd make myself a nice hot cup of tea, I'd wrap myself in a blanket, I'd had my journal, I'd meditate, I'd do breath work, my gratitude, my future pacing. I felt so damn good. I felt so healthy. I felt healthy without stressing about my workouts, without stressing about what I was eating. I felt healthier. Why? I wasn't just focusing on my physical health. I wasn't just focusing on the way that I looked. I wasn't just focusing on, okay, what is the number on the scale said? In fact, I stopped focusing on those things. I stopped weighing myself. I stopped tracking my food, and I started broadening my perspective of what it actually meant to take care of myself. And I felt better every single day on my healing journey as I was healing my relationship with food, better than I ever did just focusing on the workouts that I was doing and the food that I was eating. So that was the next evolution of focusing on my health. And then when I healed my relationship with food, no longer had fear foods, no longer had triggering foods, I've completely rewired my brain, so no urges to binge, I started being able to focus on other aspects of my health, my gut health, my hormones. These things are so incredibly important that it's not like the sexy things to focus on, right? Your gut health determines everything. Reducing inflammation, that impacts everything. Mood, joint pain, energy levels, brain fog, all these different things. So I started branching out and learning about gut health and learning about hormones and being able to do a lot of these things without feeling deprived, without feeling restricted, without having the focus be on just the way that my body looked. So even now, I am binge free. I still see being healthy. Andrew and I still go to the farmer's market. We still buy organic food. We still purchase grass-fed meat. I still care about what I'm eating because that matters. I still work out because I freaking love it and it makes me feel incredible. But that's not all I do. I don't just obsess about what I'm eating. In fact, I don't obsess what I'm eating at all. I don't just focus on what I'm eating. I don't just focus on my workouts. That is such a small portion of health for me right now. Now the things that I'm focusing on is obviously, yes, my workouts and, whole foods and all those things, but I'm also focusing on like I said, going for a daily walk for my mental health, to get vitamin D, adding collagen to like smoothies, right? Which is really good for hair, skin, nails, getting sunlight first thing in the morning, which is a natural mood booster for serotonin, like all these other things that I'm able to focus on now because number one, I've shifted my perspective of what being healthy actually means. And number two, I've done the work to heal my relationship with food so I can focus on things outside of just food. To me, my health means like getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single day, dedicating time for myself every single day, getting in enough nutrients, broadening the different foods that I'm having. So often there's so much fear of like, I don't trust myself, so I'm going to eat the same 5 foods every single day. I don't trust myself, so I'm going to weigh out my food. I don't trust myself, so I'm going to weigh myself. When you don't trust yourself, you stay in this little box of like control. I'm going to weigh myself every single day. I'm going to weigh my food every single day. And I'm going to literally eat the same foods every single day because I don't trust myself. But I recognize like that was not healthy. Eating the same 5 foods every single day is not healthy. It's not good for your gut health. It's not good for your mental health. Like it's just not even healthy. So sometimes we have this definition of what being healthy is, right? And if you just see it as like, I have to stick to my macros, like that's what being healthy is, then what ends up happening is you feel like you can't go outside of that. If you have been weighing yourself on the scale every single day, you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't stray away from that. It's because it's what you've been used to for so long, and you have one definition of health. And maybe all you care about or all you're focusing on is the number on the scale, is the way that your body looks. But how do you feel? Health is not a look. Health is a feeling. When I focused on the way that I looked, I felt like shit. Just be straight up and honest. When I just focused on the way that my body looked, I felt horrible. I had low energy. I had no sex drive. I was thinking about food all day long. I had chronic anxiety, gut issues, bloating issues, hormonal issues. When I started focusing, when I started seeing health as feeling good, energy-wise, mood-wise, mental health, I started focusing on all these other areas that have to do with health, I started feeling better. Even people don't recognize a pillar of health is connection. Healthy connection, healthy relationships. I can't tell you how many people I speak to on a daily basis who feel lonely. You know why people feel lonely? Is because they're scared to go out with their friends. They're scared to see people they haven't seen in a really long time, so they're afraid of showing their body. Maybe they just binge, so I gotta stay at home. I don't want to go out for dinner because, oh my gosh, calories. So we isolate, we stay at home. But then you feel lonely. And what do you do when you feel lonely? You eat to soothe those emotions. Right? I don't feel good enough. I feel lonely. I don't feel accepted. I don't feel like I belong. So I need to self-soothe. That is not healthy. When I was so worried about the way that my body looked, I would not go to social events. I would stay at home. I would binge when I was home alone. I'd look at photos and videos of my friends all hanging out, and I would stay at home. That was the most unhealthiest thing that I ever did for myself. Physical health, mental health, emotional health. I felt lonely. I felt isolated. I had chronic anxiety because I just binged, and oh my God, I wish that I went out with my friends, but oh my God, I feel so awkward because I haven't seen them in so long, and I just keep, staying at home, and nobody invites me to things because I literally cancel all the time. That is the most unhealthiest thing that you can do. Being social, getting outside, going with your friends, interaction, right? Eating different foods. These are all things that are actually healthy. And I've obviously come a long way. Like if you would have told me a few years ago, like, Lorna, focus on, getting quality sleep, focus on meditation, focus on like going out with your friends, and you're going to be healthier and you're going to be happier. And I'm like, BS. Let me just do my thing. Let me just go to the gym and let me just like meal prep and let me just do my workouts. Let me just eat healthy. Let me just eat my 5 foods that I eat every single day. Like that's all I need. Because that's all I cared about. All I cared about was the way that I looked. But if you just focus on the way that you look, you are not going to feel your best. And you're not going to be healthy. Because I can't tell you anything more unhealthy than spending hours deciding on what to wear. Spending hours deciding if you're going to go to that social event or not. Because I don't know, is somebody going to comment on my food choices? Is somebody going to comment on the way that my body looks? There's so much more to health than the way that you look. Health is a feeling. And something else, even when I say I'm a healthy eater, what does that even mean? Right? You can hear somebody that says, I am healthy. What does that mean? Everyone's definition of health is different. Right? So for example, for me, I shared all the different things that I do to be a healthy person. Somebody else might say, I eat healthy, and you know what they do? They maybe cut out all processed foods. Somebody else says, I eat healthy, and they juice every single day. Maybe somebody else says, I am healthy, and they just make sure that they get at least one vegetable in every single day, and they're like, I'm healthy. Somebody else might say, I'm healthy, and they cut down their soda to 1 day a week. Like, everybody's definition of health is different. So even when you hear me saying, I eat healthy, do not confuse that with eating less. Do not confuse that with eating the same 5 foods every single day, right? But also know that when I say like I'm healthy, like it's not the same as maybe what your definition of being healthy is, or what you even want to be your definition of being healthy. If I see people, making their own bread, right? I'm like, that's very inspirational. And like, I do want to try that one day, but also like time-wise, like, yeah, I got a business to run. I don't know if I'm going to be in the kitchen making bread for hours. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to get in my sleep. I'm going to, buy organic. I'm going to get grass-fed meat. I'm going to work on my mental health. I'm going to get sunlight, like all these different things. But you might be seeing being healthy as something completely different. What does it even mean? Even my uncle's very healthy. He has his own definition of what health is. He doesn't work out, but he goes for walks. He sees that as being healthy, right? So everybody's definition of health means different. And I really want you to craft your own definition of what being healthy means to you, and take out the way that you look. How can you focus on feeling good? When you focus on feeling good, you guys, as the primary focus, your weight will naturally take care of itself. Your relationship with food is automatically going to get better, because if you're focusing on feeling good, you're not going to want to starve yourself, because that doesn't feel good. You're not going to want to eat past physically full, because that doesn't feel good. You're not going to want to eat foods every single day that bloat you, even though they taste really good, because that also doesn't feel good. It doesn't mean you're not going to have those foods, but again, it's a different perspective of like, I'm focusing on how I feel versus restriction. When I say of like, don't have ice cream because of the calories, you're like, screw that, I'm gonna go have some ice cream. Versus, okay, maybe ice cream doesn't make me feel the best, so out of self-love, I'm gonna choose to not have any tonight. I could have the ice cream, but I remember how like, it doesn't make me feel good, and like I'm gonna be bloated all night. So like there's no restriction, I could have it, but I also don't wanna feel like crap. Different perspective, different mindset, right? What do you think of a liver detox? So it depends on like what you're doing for the liver detox. I think like obviously your liver is incredibly important, and doing things properly obviously would be best. I am not the expert in detoxes of the liver, so I don't want to give any advice, but detoxing the liver is incredibly important. Milk thistle tea. I've had that tea before, and that's actually really good. But yeah, definitely not my expertise. But anything that you do, if done properly, without a restrictive mindset, and obviously this is probably something that I think like you would do like one time a year. This isn't something that you would obviously do like, on a weekly basis type of thing. But definitely like check with like, a more professional in that like sense. But yeah, and speaking of liver detox, like when you heal your relationship with food, you can start focusing on, like I said, other areas of your body to be healthy. Like now, like I'm even like looking at like the products that I'm using, like toothpaste that's like, so many chemicals that we're putting in our mouth, right? Even like cleaning supplies and laundry detergent. Like I'm trying to do the best that I can. Obviously it's a lot, but I'm trying to do the best that I can. Like even for Andrew and I, like, you know, our household products and like toothpaste and all these different things, like I can now focus on so many other areas of my health that aren't just on the way that I look. But a few years ago, when it was just, I need to focus on the way that I look, all I cared about was spending Sundays meal prepping and getting in my workout. And you know, yesterday we spent the majority of time at a pool party, connecting with people, being social, being out, like having fun. Fun is a part of health. Are you blocking your body's ability from extracting joy and fun and pleasure? Or are you going out with your friends? Are you doing these things? Like, there's so much more to health, you guys. There's so much more to health. I'm scared to go back to binge eating because the doctor told me I have to add in more fruits and have less fat while I'm doing it. So, okay, yeah. And this is the thing, you guys, like any protocol that a doctor, a naturopath, a nutritionist, a dietitian, or whoever is telling you, right? Oftentimes, like this is why I say fully heal your relationship with food for good before trying to do any of these protocols. Because if there is any trigger when a doctor or somebody says like you have to add more fruits or like have less fat, and you're triggered by that, that is a sign that there still needs to be healing of your relationship with food. Like now, somebody can tell me like, okay, Lorna, like, you know, you have to do a specific protocol, so you can't have these foods. I would be fine because there's no weird thing going on in my mind of like, oh my God, am I restricting? I have no urges because I've completely rewired my brain. So this is the importance, you guys, of healing your relationship with food so that you can work on other areas of your health. Like I even have a lot of clients that I work with who have like PCOS, right? And it's gonna be challenging for you to follow a protocol that might be really rigid if you're still seeing like, okay, have less fats as restriction, right? So that's just like my recommendation. That's why I always say heal your relationship with food first. But at the same time, also know that like these are just suggestions, right? Like obviously, like you know your body, but anytime, like even the clients that I have who have PCOS or things like that, who like, for connection. Okay, we're back. One of my clients that I worked with last year in the academy who had PCOS, she literally needed to really be mindful of gluten, wheat, and dairy because it just completely upset her stomach. And I told her, I'm like, listen, you could have these foods. You could have dairy. You could have gluten. You could have wheat. You could have these foods. But what are the consequences, right? So we can't see it from a restrictive mindset of like, I can't have those foods, because the moment you tell yourself you can't have those foods is the moment that you're going to want them, is the moment that you're going to feel like, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something bad. I might as well binge because tomorrow I'm not allowed to have this food. You're welcome, Jen. Thanks for hanging out, right? So it's like for her, like she needed to really switch her mindset and not see it as restriction, but rather an act of self-care, an act of self-love. If there are certain foods that don't make you feel good, it's not restriction to not eat them, right? Like you don't want to feel bloated. You don't want to feel constipated. You don't want to have headaches. You don't want to have inflammation, all of these things, right? So I think these are all just very important things to consider. And I would really, all of you guys listening right now, I really want you guys to redefine your definition of health. Health is not just food. Health is not just workouts. Health is sleep. Health is rest. Health is quality relationships, connection, right? Being social, right? Like all of these other things, like eating a variety of foods to get in all the vitamins and the minerals that your body actually needs to function properly versus eating the same 5 foods every single day. So most people who have this mindset of only focusing on the workouts, only focusing on the number on the scale, only focusing on the way that I look. These people are so terrified of eating a variety of foods or focusing on other things because they're terrified of weight gain. Hands down, this is the number one reason why people still restrict themselves, over exercise, kill themselves in the gym, because there's this fear of weight gain. So if you guys have not yet seen, I'm going to be hosting a completely free masterclass on how to release this fear of weight gain. Because when you are so terrified of gaining weight, you are obsessing over your food, you are weighing yourself every single day, you're killing yourself in the gym, and this is actually the most unhealthiest thing that you can do for yourself. So I want to help you release the fear of weight gain. I want to help you feel more confident in your own skin. I want you to start enjoying your life right now. Yes, I need this. Yes, I feel like everybody needs this because I know it's a real thing. Like, I was terrified of no longer weighing myself because I didn't want to blow up like a balloon. I was so terrified of eating intuitively because I didn't trust myself. So when you release the fear of weight gain, you're going to cultivate so much more self-love, and you're going to actually be able to be healthy and enjoy your life right now. So it's completely free. The link is in my bio. If you're listening to this on the podcast, the link will be down below. You can also DM me the word weight, literally just WEIGHT, literally just message me that word, and I will send you the link to that. I eat in the middle of the night and cannot seem to stop myself. I hate myself every morning. Any tips? Hi, Ashley. Thank you so much for being here. So this is actually night eating syndrome. And I've worked with a few clients who've either done this consciously or like sleepwalking type of eating. So I've had some clients let me know, like, are you conscious? Like, do you remember you do it? Or do you wake up in the middle of the night with wrappers in your bed? Because I work with clients. I have one client who subconsciously did it. Like, she had no idea what she was doing. And then she would wake up and there was food wrappers all over her bed. And then I had another one of my clients who was fully conscious, was fully awake, and who would wake up in the middle of the night and eat food. So there's kind of two of those aspects. And as I remember, someone said, okay, yeah. So I actually had somebody on TikTok message me about this as well too. So there's a lot that I can support you with. The first thing that I would say, like, I obviously don't know your situation, but if this is happening on like a subconscious level where you don't really remember it, there needs to be healing happening where you feel safe in your body. Breath work is one of the most powerful things that you can do. Even right before you're about to fall asleep, there's certain like meditations, there are certain tapes that you can listen to before going to bed that will reprogram your subconscious to help you really feel safe in your body. Obviously, like making sure that you're eating enough throughout the day, making sure that you're having satisfying meals throughout the day. But if you are struggling with like the night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, a lot of the times this has to do with safety, not feeling safe in our body, or this feeling of like, I have to eat because I don't want to be depriving myself. Like, there's so many different aspects. I actually do have a program specifically for this. It's called Break the Late Night Binge. And I specifically created this program because I too was a nighttime eater, and I would do out all day, like no problem. And then come the evening, it's like I couldn't stop myself. Like, one bite turned into, entire loaf of bread or entire bar of chocolate. And then I would obviously feel like shit the next morning with so much anxiety, feeling like I'm going to gain 9 million pounds. So if you want to message me after this live, I can tell you a little bit more about Break the Late Night Binge, and then we can see if it might be a good fit for you. We can also, again, talk about like even doing some breathwork sessions to even like clear, some limiting beliefs, help you feel safe in your body. So we can definitely talk about that as well too. There's so many different options. But thank you guys for being here. Ashley, let me know if that was helpful. Again, you can just like DM me afterwards and we can have like a little short conversation and I can see how maybe I can support you. Okay, amazing, Ashley. You're so welcome. All right, you guys. So this is all for this little mini training on what it actually means to be healthy. Be sure to register for my free masterclass on how to release the fear of weight gain, because that can be holding you back from experiencing complete freedom with food. So I'm super excited. Definitely go ahead and register, and I'll see you guys soon.